Okay, we're live. Good evening, Pirates. Welcome to TFC Live, Season 3, Episode 10. This is the post-bounty review for this month and including the weekly updates. Hello, panel. How are we? Ren, hello, mate.
Hey, how are you?
Good. Robin, how are you?
I'm doing well, thanks.
Okay, and your eyes are not deceiving you. We have a guest on tonight. It's Earth. Many people should know him. Hey, Earth, how you doing, mate?
How's it going, guys? You all right?
Yeah, we're good. We'll have one more later on when he actually manages to get himself in and that sort of stuff. And so George will be popping on in the next few minutes. However, we've had Bounty 7.0. I think it went well. The feedback seems reasonable. We are traveling in the right direction. Is that a general consensus?
Yes.
Yep.
Good.
Yeah, I think that's definitely the where it's going, I think.
Well, we'll take a bit more of an in-depth look then. So, slides. And by the way, sorry, welcome all there in live chat. I see a plethora of people in there. Jenny's made it tonight. Hi there, Jenny. How you doing? I put a special time slot up for her for Sydney because I know she likes that. So, anyway, there we go. Splash slide, job done. Contents for tonight. And if we get time, we've got one more slide as well, but I didn't put it in the contents just in case we don't get there. So, Robin, over to you.
Thank you. Okay, well, we just finished Bounty 7 for March. I can't believe we've already been through 7. It seems like only yesterday that we started them.
It does, actually. You're right.
Yeah, what is it they say as you get older, time flies? Anyway. Okay, moving on.
What are you talking about?
So, for the most part, this one was similar to ones in the past with one very, very big exception. That exception was that we did not have the bandit-occupied bases on the map. We had something... Yes, we had something new this time. What Kix did was they took a look at the participants of Bounty 6 and basically took a list of all of those people that played in Bounty 6, and then they copied their bases sometime in the last week, and then those became your opponent bases. The good things with this is that there were multiple bases at many different levels. I've got a couple of pictures there of some of the lower ones that were on there, all the way up to the mega hard ones that were there. And this, I think, was a really good positive thing. There were some key things that this did for the player group. First off, there was something for every level. Obviously, lower level players could not hit the map targets if they didn't have the old map targets, if they didn't have really good fleets. They paid a variety of points payouts, and I have to say, for the most part, I was getting at the top end of the points payout. So if I was hitting a 110 plus base, I was getting the 500 points. There were plenty of the targets. You did not have to chase around and hunt for these things. There were I think there was 4 at every drac base, so you could essentially, if you're in the middle of a world, go to the end of the world, start at a drac base, and then just work your way back, hitting all of the targets all the way down. And it was a really good learning tool for some up-and-coming PvPers. There were a lot of new folks that joined Bounty this time around that absolutely had a blast. Now, obviously, they were checking some of the bases at the lower level. If it didn't have the BFG gun, then they were going in. They were using a variety of fleets. I saw people using... Skyfires. Our very own Andrew was using Punishers, got himself 20k points with that. There were people using their FM fleets. I saw Icebreakers out. I saw the Furies that Kix was selling. So a good variety of fleets for everybody, as well as, of course, all the newer fleets that people had with the Onslaughts and King's Writs and Twin Blades and other things that were there as well. So it was really good. A good opportunity for people. The other positive thing was that these didn't bubble, so you were actually able to retreat, which if you were using gluts or if you were not used to base hitting, if you got to a point where you needed to back out, you could, and there wasn't a bubble that was put on these targets, so you could essentially prep them, pull them out. You could take one fleet in to kill the base and then another one to finish up the fleet if you were using subs, things like that. So there was a lot of stuff that was a lot of choices that you could do with attacking the bases. And then the big thing was not having to wait for the jackpot targets. I know in the past people that have done it, if you were not on when the jackpots were on, you were grinding for hours and hours and seemed like days to go ahead and get enough points to get all the stuff that was out there. With the payout, of the targets that were on there and not having to wait for the jackpots, then you could actually set your own schedule. You know, you didn't have to abide by Kick's schedule. You had the ability to go ahead and, you know, set your time for how much you're going to do. And then these could be prepped. So if you were working with someone, a mid-level player or somebody who was doing bounty for the first time, you actually had the ability to go in there and prep these targets and leave just a couple of buildings to help somebody bank, or if someone was short. So I don't know if anybody wanted to add anything to that?
Yeah, Earth, you go first, mate.
Yeah, so I thought it was really good. It was really fun. The targets were really varied. It also entertained me somewhat that some of the bases were still in there, that they'd pulled some of the quit bases.
Yes,
So,
naughty bases, yeah.
So you had some really good naughty bases, which entertained me a little bit as well.
Yeah,
I think we found one that was like a 125 with a nice big fat payout, and it was someone's base that had quit. So that was nice and good. I like that. I think altogether, really, it was a really good event, to be perfectly honest. It was an event that everybody could participate in, which is what it should have been in the first place, really.
Yes.
And especially for lower to mid-level players who are looking to try and get into the PvP market, you know, they've kind of been frozen out of it a little bit recently, and I think that this has done a lot to change that. So all good in my book.
Yeah, good. I mean, I had 3 people in my alliance who've never done bounty before. This is their first little dabble into it, and they all came away with something, which is great. You know, I've been trying to get them into it, and they've been like, "No, PvP is not for me. There's no way I can do it. I don't have the fleets." And as you were saying there, Robin, the Punisher thing was for one person. Someone had some old mudgluts and that sort of stuff that he'd had, and then obviously they became redundant. But everyone had a little dabble. So from my side, and what I saw around. And what I really did like, when people had locked themselves away and got their allowance for the day, what they wanted to, a lot of people just sat at the 8K point and went, "That's it. I'm not going for the 10 because I know I'm going to get hit because I've got a rubbish base and I've been bookmarked already at least once." They were actually then going out and prepping for other people, not actually getting the points, but at least helping out some lower levels as well. There was a lot of that going on.
Yeah,
so
and I actually, I know with, you know, we were talking about the map targets, but the other thing that was really, really good, you know, with the golden nexuses that are out there, you have different of larger alliances kind of move themselves around and strategically position themselves, so there's not all of these big alliances in the same sector fighting over the nexus. And one of the things that occurs because of that is every world always has a really big alliance. And so for me, one of the things that I like about it is actually being able to watch some of the higher level players hit some of the bases. And you know, one of the ways, one of the ways to learn in this game when it comes to base hitting is to actually watch people do it. And so we were lucky enough to have PLNS in our sector this time, in our world this time, and I saw some epic battles for, you know, 20, 30, and 40K in bounty, and there was some really good fleets and some really good driving, and just watching people strategically, you know, eviscerate a base in different parts. It was really cool.
Yeah, it's good. Ren?
Yeah, one of the.
Oh, sorry, go. Yeah,
no. Brent can go first. It's fine.
No, go, George.
Okay, I was just gonna say one of the things that I really liked, and it's one of the bullet points that we have, is it was a great chance for people to learn and practice hitting bases without having the repercussions, not having someone come back and flatten you or getting sniped or anything else. And you could go in, you could take time, and if you messed up, the bases didn't bubble, and people had a chance to actually get in and try different things on bases just to see how it works. You know, with the PvP stuff, you know, it's a static target, so we can eventually learn, you know, like the FM, the 117, it's going to be the same target. You eventually learn each time you go in. With bases, it's dynamic because everyone builds their bases differently. So this actually allowed a lot of players, especially the ones like Robin said that did not do PvP before, it gave them a really good chance to get in and take a look at stuff and see how it works and how to try and look over the base and see what you have to do. And even if you know went over 25%, you're not banging your head on the keyboard going, "I over prepped" or whatever. It was a great learning opportunity, and I hope they don't change it because it took them 7 tries. This was a great bounty, but I think that ability for players to get in there and practice base hitting is something that's desperately needed to get PvP back on track.
Well, I think that's probably the most important thing out of the lot, really, because it's given people who have never hit bases before that opportunity without the repercussions, like you said.
It's the
And
foundation of the game, isn't it? This is
kind
the
of just-
foundation of Battle Pirates, to me.
yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Ren, mate.
I think everybody mostly said everything that was relevant. Being an old player in the game, we always go back to, when the game was more fun, and we had this, we had that. This reminded me a lot of the very foundation of the game when we didn't have all the PvE. And low-level players would grind their asses on salvages and mines to get resources, and then the big sharks in the water would hit bases to take their resources, right? And that was the pirating game at its core. And I saw a lot of that all happening again. So to me, it was a great event. I was hitting player bases, be them real bases or replica bases. The smaller folks or folks who didn't want to do the PvP like versus other people for whatever reason were hitting the replicas and getting points little by little, bit by bit. Then especially on Sunday, when everybody had their asses exposed because you can only bank at 57K, then the sharks were out and hitting those bases for 5K, 6K, 10K, stealing half their bounty. And of course they were pissed, but that's a pirating game, guys. And that was fun, was a thrill, and teamwork in many cases and whatnot to guard the guy hitting the base and prevent snipers and other kind of stuff. It's to me, Battle Pirates at its best because it offers stuff for everyone, like you guys already said.
Yeah, perfect. I totally agree. I think the Sunday bit is the fun bit of the bounty. Everyone that's safe up until Sunday morning or the last 24 hours, and then it goes mental, which I think is great.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if you don't want to play the high stakes game, that's the good thing. If you don't want to play the high stakes game, you stop.
Lock at 8K. Job done.
You go to checkpoint 4 on Sunday and you stop.
And then go watch
or you wait so that everybody else around you has more than you.
Yeah, that's
Nice.
That's what I done.
Good point.
That's what I was telling the mid-level players. I'm like, I can't hold this. It's like, you know what? Wait about 4 hours, and then everybody else will be worth way more than you will, and nobody will hit you.
Yeah.
I just happened to come home in the last hour before it finished, and I went he's getting some. And ka-ching, I'm only 5.5K, but it took me to another blueprint that I wanted, and I got it. So
yeah.
I was really naughty. Somebody asked for a gunboat with a dead base, and they were worth 17.5K, and
Oh.
and I was really naughty, and I might have gone in and flattened him.
it's a big gunboat.
Ren brought up a really good point that I forgot to mention too. Is one of the things that I noticed was there was far more community interaction within the sector and stuff. There was more people talking to each other. I'm not sure if it's the PvP that brought that out or if it was just the activity. I'm not sure what it was, but it did. It reminded me a lot, just like Ren. It reminded me a lot of the old days, how everybody was in and active and talking and everything. It was really cool.
And
I think
it was sorry, go ahead.
No, that's okay. I just was going to quit. What we did was I actually was posting some of the lower bases with the pictures that I put on various pages, as well as in comms on sector, and saying, look, and they're like, I can't do this. And I'd go into one. I'm like, you can hit this with sea wolves, So
yep, yeah, there was people doing that in our sector too. It was great. Like people were talking to each other and everything. It reminded me of old days a lot. It was good.
And a lot less grindy than the raids overall. And the other thing, it's a pet peeve of mine. I'm just tired of those huge numbers we have in raids. I need 300 million points. It's so refreshing to say, hey, I have 60,000 points. I'm going to get me some prizes, right?
Or even 10K. I mean, for 10K, you could have got the gluttony, the sin, and a couple of writs in its toys.
If people who got the Eviscerator in the TLC now could just go, if you score, 2,000 bounty, you can get the Sinful Scatter Gun, which is an awesome weapon, right? And boom.
Yeah, I mean, it was nice. A base is a base.
You don't get so the point. Sorry, I was trying to is like you don't get anything fun in raids. You can only score 500,000 points. You get crappy prizes in bounty with, like I said, like 1,700 points. I think you could get an actual useful prize, which is great.
Yeah, there is that because it's all of the prizes are relevant in some way to everybody. So you don't have to score mega points in order to get something that's relevant for you.
And with the right strategy, like you show up every 5-6 hours and 800 and 800, and then you defend your base a couple times, 2,000, boom, banked. 2,000, you already got a prize. So you show up on Saturday, you do that, you show up twice and you get your base defended a couple times, boom, you get a prize.
Yeah. Okay. So a good old saying in the UK: chicken, winning, finger licking winner. Okay, we are good. This was a good event as far as we're concerned. There's some feedback from the page. Okay. Keep it going in this direction for 2018, please. Okay, because I think you're going to bring a lot of players back into the game, and I'm almost of the realms of starting to think I might actually entice some people into start playing the game if we can just sort at that bottom end how you get forward sort of stuff. But with a PvP event like this, you could have the crappiest ships in the world and still go and hit a base and take it apart. Even if you just chipped away at it. I mean, I hit a base with a set of, and I was just being pedantic, and I just did it 14 times. I hit this one base, and I wouldn't go and bring anything else in apart from just one set of crappy old gluts. And I took it apart. It took me ages, but I'd already banked for the day, and it was fun just doing it. I was like chipping away a little bit of this, a little bit of that. But I thought to myself, if I can do that at a high-level base, actually then somebody could do it with punishers. And like you were saying, Robin, Andrew managed to get himself a good total with a set of 2-year-old ships.
Yep.
I mean, I took out my old original dreads for a spin. So
wow.
Yeah, it's good.
I hope Kickside is paying attention to all that feedback and notices that everyone had fun, because I know, we were looking at
we lost volume there.
Yeah.
I lost George.
Yeah. Lost George's voice.
Yeah, but it was, and I went and looked at all of the pages. I took these from our page and removed the name to protect the innocent, but I was just watching all of the pages, and it was clearly across all of them, it was very upbeat. Everybody, there were a couple of folks that were unfortunate that lost huge amounts on the last day. But for the most part, though, it was positive from everybody. There wasn't, even when somebody said something along the lines of that, oh my gosh, I can't do anything. And then people were posting bases and tips and, use this fleet and you can do that. And there were even people that were, posting to help other people. So it was a very big positive. And as said, I hope that Kix holds on to this and doesn't do anything to break that momentum here in the next couple of months, because right now there are a lot of very happy players.
Okay, carry on then, Robin. We're good.
Yep, Keeper of the Nexus. Of course, this time there were 5 per world, and as usual, holding on to them, you were able to go ahead and get bonuses. And here is a picture. Thank you to Rainer for providing this for us. And I'm going to punt this over to Ren, because this is his alliance.
I also said again, the one thing that frustrates me, it's those mega battles. They always happen in the final hours of Bounty, which happened to me Monday morning for me, and I kind of work for a living. So I'm never there for them. And, I hate it because I would like to be. And this time, like the last Bounty, we were attacking someone else's Nexus to take it. This time we had to defend. One of our Nexus was just being heavily attacked, and the guys who were online jumped in, and the Facebook chat lit up. And I was in the middle of a meeting. I shouldn't say that. and the meeting was kind of boring, and I didn't have to say anything. So I'm checking messages, and the guys are like, "Who was the asshole who left a hole in the middle of the hive? They're being attacked!" And everybody jumped in, and it was really cool. Like, in the end, we were able to defend it and got the point. So thanks, my alliance, for that. Appreciate it much. And it is one of the highlights, one of the things people talk about the most at the end of Bounty is it's this kind of interaction, which, again, Battle Pirates at its best. I think it's not the same as the old open water fleet versus fleet battles, but it's as close as it gets.
George.
Is my mic working now?
Yep.
Now it is.
Okay. I'm sorry. A point that I wanted to make on just before we went to this was that I hope Kixeye is paying attention to all that feedback. I know that they watch to see what the distribution is and stuff, but man, honestly, I think everyone had such a fun time. And Mark, like you was saying, people like telling other people, "Hey, you might want to play this." It was fun, and I don't want them to try and tweak it at all
if
for
this
a
stays
little
as
bit.
it is, mate, this is the best part of the game at the moment.
Yep. I think they hit a home run.
The best part of BP for 4 years.
Yep.
I think they've. But in general terms, you've got a forum, a focus now. People are in on it. All levels can participate, from the very, very bottom level right the way to the very, very top level. And it doesn't matter if you're a 115 level player that's got the shittiest fleets in the world, because you've only ever done PvE, you can still have a little tap at this. I know people using Skyfires on level 50s. So given the other 6 bounties, this is bounty 7, right? So would you guys consider this one a home run out of all? This is bounty 1 to me. This is,
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, the rest were just beta versions. This is the real deal.
Okay. Because I thought it was great. I don't want to see him change it at all.
And I don't think everyone was happy, and some people were not, as usual. I think, but if you look at the poll on our page, I think it was 520 saying it was good and 11 saying it was bad. So it's what, 3%, 2% saying it was a bad thing, and 98% of respondents saying it was a good thing. Some people had some constructive suggestions. I think Rue made a suggestion about people up to a certain level having checkpoints every 1,000 points instead of every 2,000 points.
Yeah.
But that's small tweakings that they could make. I think even if they don't change anything, next month they'll see a lot more people doing bounty.
There were a lot that joined towards the end too, that were seeing what the other people were doing, and I strongly encouraged the folks in my alliance to do it, even if they joined in the last hour, so they weren't worth anything to anybody. And we did that with a couple of players. They jumped in the last hour, and they ended up with 4 or 5K, so they were able to get some stuff. So there were a lot of people, I think, that joined at the last minute or on the last day that really enjoyed it as well.
And for those people, I would say next time, start from day 1, and just if you can log in twice a day. Okay, and you defend your base twice, you can get checkpoint 1 every day, and in the end you're gonna have 10,000 bounty. Think about it.
Yeah, if you do it right, you can lock away 2K every day easily. It just takes a little bit of assistance and a little bit of common sense. Yeah. You can definitely lock 2K away instantly.
No, 2K is actually easy. I mean, if you can log in more often than that and play a little bit more, you can easily get to 30, 40K without doing much, just showing up.
Yeah, I actually liked Rue's idea a lot. A real lot. Just cut everything in half for people that are under level 70, so that way they can hit their banks. They don't have to try and struggle up to 10,000. It'll be 5,000 for them if they really want to do it, and they'll have a better chance to actually bank the stuff and not get farmed as much. I really like that idea. I think they just got to find where to do it.
What the balance is, yeah.
What the cutoff would be. But that's a phenomenal idea.
Okay, we did have some bugs, nothing major, but there were some serious lag on the Nexus battles. There were people that were reporting where they were having to refresh multiple times, and I'm not sure if it's a mega hull thing or if it was just in general related to part number 2 with flash and shockwave crashes. And I'm not sure. I think this is part of when you hit a base, if you watch how much memory you're using, it really increases after or during a base hit. So I noticed, and other people were reporting, that they were getting a lot more flash and shockwave crashes. So if you are going to participate in this event, make sure that you refresh multiple times so that you don't end up losing it in the middle of a battle. There were a couple of rogue gold nexuses that were out there. Apparently there was a couple per world that were not on the locator, so they were there. They did pay out. It was a 25 bounty, I think it was, for a maximum of 100, but they did not pay the full bonus amount. So I know Kix is looking at that for next time. And I'm sure everybody saw the pictures of the supersized boulder skin. That if
Yeah,
you
what was that all about?
if you got the boulder skin, your boulder ended up being about 5 times the normal size. And then, we've brought this up a couple times and it still continues to be an issue. I'm not sure if Kix has the ability to do it, but there is nothing more frustrating than banking your bounty, rubbing your hands together and saying, woohoo, I'm going to go out and start smacking some bases, and everything in your locator is in your sector. So, if they have the ability to split this out, please, please, please work on this.
Just remind me, what was the last skin that did that when it filled the whole battle screen?
Was the skin for the submarine, the river submarine.
That was the one. Hellwraith.
Hellwraith, yeah. I remember the first people, they would launch the ship with the skin and it would be like huge, like half a screen.
Half a screen or plus, yeah, exactly. Cool. Right.
And then onto the prizes. This time it was only 65k for the top prizes, and that partly was because we did not have the TAC mods for the Onslaught that were included in there. Those were 10k each last time, but this time 65k got you the 3 missile boats plus the special and the weapon. They also had the prizes, as we've talked about all the way through, at all price points. So they re-released the Onslaught, so people were able to get that. The King's Writ and the Gluttony and Sin Scatter were down there at the bottom at very reasonable prices. And they also had the Conquest Yard tokens as well for folks that are still collecting those in order to be able to go ahead and finish their Conquest Yard. And there's an example of I think people are calling it the Sith skin. I actually got that because I couldn't get anything else. And some of the skins were pretty cool. I actually got hit today by a pink Onslaught.
I got hit. Jags hit me last night, and I did the rewatch. I wasn't on, and it was a good little hit and that sort of stuff. But the funniest thing was watching his pink Onslaught going around my base. I was laughing while it was doing it. It was the funniest thing ever. I don't know why it was funny. It just amused me greatly.
Well, I think we've been asking for a pink skin forever, right? Just because think about it, right? You being flattened by pink ships, it's funny.
It is funny. Go on, sorry, mate.
Yeah.
I was just saying, I got flattened by 2 pink Onslaughts and 3 blue missile storms.
That's what to do. Same thing, yeah. I don't know why, it just amuses me greatly, and I know Raina likes it as well. So
it does. It amuses me just getting flattened by pink boats. It's great fun.
I am glad they dropped the price this time too, because for the purple King's Writ skin was 15k, and these dropped down to 10k. I'd like to see them obviously be a lot cheaper, but they did drop the price down.
Yeah, I didn't have points for the skins at all. I mean, I had enough for the ship, the storm cruiser, and the weapon. I couldn't get the special, and I of course couldn't get the skins, but eventually they'll pop up again, and they are great.
I'm hoping tech store would be great. They were good. Put them in the tech store, same price if you want, or equivalent sort of might. But
if they show up on the daily offers, I'll buy them if they're reasonably priced.
Especially the Hope one. It's epic. I like it.
Yeah.
Good. We covered that slide. Done? Happy? Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was it. Yep.
Super. Right. So now we're moving to this week's updates. We'll sort of get through these because it's not overly exciting. There's a lot of information, but it's not exactly we're going to read all the slides because I don't like doing that. Okay. So FM updates then. Here we go. Charge armors in the FM. Hurrah! Okay. One thing that when GDR turned up and the town hall said, what did they say, Ren? What did you say?
Oh, that's one of the things they asked us when GDR showed up and said, guys, if I could fix, what are your top 3 things you want us to address? And one of the things we suggested was, charged armors are so important. They need to be widely available. Why don't you put them in FM? And here we are. So thanks Kickstarter for listening to the players.
And Earth, what have you been saying publicly, mate?
What have I been saying publicly for the last 5-6 months? Put some charged armors in the FM.
And hurrah! So we couldn't do nothing about it in 2017. First question, and it has been responded as soon as we got somewhere in the new program for 2018. So that elitism is slightly now being eroded away, and these are must-haves. They're a little bit too much must-haves, if anything. To be honest.
So many people, Mark. So many people. When we posted like videos showing our fleets doing TLCs and stuff, they'd say, "Oh, I can't get it done because I don't have charged armors." Like they'd have the ships, they'd have the weapons, they'd have the right builds, but no charged armor. Boom!
Yeah, this, and I know there were some people that were saying, "Oh my God, they've added another 20 things to the FM." These are so cheaply priced.
Take it or don't take it. Yeah.
Yeah, well, but you can almost knock them all out in one run with a couple of the big targets. But the fact that they are cheaply priced allows the folks that do have to hit the lower level targets the ability to go ahead and get them. I mean, I know a lot of people that are running around with they got Skyfires last raid and have got Skyfires to be able to go out and get titanium so they can use their conquest yard, but they don't have the charge. So here you go, 20k a pop. You can go ahead and hopefully work with your fleet.
I think as well that they're reasonably priced in the respect that the build time on them is quite heavy. So I think the price point on them is pretty much on the money, in my opinion.
And in the right tier, I like things. Yeah, I like things dropping into pool 4. I think that's just about the right place.
Yeah,
you've got to work a little bit to get them, but it's not that you just go, "Oh, I'm never going to." Some people just can't get to tier 5. I get that, and the thing that's in there is tier 5. If you want that golden sort of like, that's where the big tokens are, but you've also got a 1 point something to big item there to get ticket item get first. It'd be wrong then to make them do a third thing and try and get one of these. So dropping them down into level 4, and at this price, like you say, 5, 6 is 30. It's 115. Soon to be 117 sort of stuff, but you can still chip away at some of the lower ones and actually build up to it. So I think it's brilliant. I think it's a good one. That's a winner again.
Definitely is a winner.
Good. Okay. Charge path. Okay. So this one is a little TLC that's coming out. Okay. Basically, all these TLCs are started. So I'm not going to talk about timings, but this sort of gives you some good old bits and bobs. There you are. They were heavy just for you, mate, because I seen you in chat. But it's good because obviously that TLC that was back where you had this. What was it called? We had all the component parts. I forgot what it's called now.
Tech Up.
Tech Up, thank you very much. Yeah, and Tech Up 2 or whatever it was. But there's a lot of these things here. So Siege Battery 4, the iron thrusters in there. There's a bit more charge again. So this is a nice little thing. It does say
charge for this raid set too.
Yeah, interesting though that the legendary fleets are recommended. Just take that note, and retreat is not available. So just take that in consideration. Watch somebody else or look at some videos like Ren's videos, maybe. And then get some ideas first.
I bumped the Herculean TLC video up, and if that helps.
Yeah, cool. Sorry, Earth, go, mate.
Yeah, I'm going to make a couple of videos as well. Just
super, mate.
Help out as well.
Cool. Send us the links, mate, and then I'll get them, Andrew, to put them up for you.
Yeah, this one follows the Path of Continent one, where you can have folks hide in the corner with a gunboat, and the other folks do it with the same Phoenix or Skyfire, Fang, and Bucky or Hydra. So this is another gimme where folks should be able to go out and get a lot of the stuff that's in here very reasonably and very quickly for people that are missing it.
Please, all I implore you to do is, if you've got somebody in your sector and they're trying, obviously, because that's my key, and I know Robin's the same thing. If there's somebody that you've been in the same sector with for a while and they're trying, there's no reason to just say to them, mate, go and drop a gunboat in the corner and I'll give you this stuff for nothing, because it really doesn't cost you anything to go and, at high levels particularly, just go and spend 5 minutes and bring in other people on in the game.
So, I mean, on the assault one, I would recommend using the Phoenixes. Seem to be a little bit better than Skyfires. So, for less damage, taking Phoenixes. Obviously, the skirmish Fangs. It's the old 89 blitz target, I believe.
Oh, right. Yes, it is. That's it. Yeah.
So you can do that for no damage, and then of course you can do it for instant repair with a decent buck build on the last one. So it's a fairly reasonable kind of thing to do it. You're not going to get that much in repairs.
Yeah. I mean, I've personally not using the iron thruster one because I don't like the way it's costing for building that sort of stuff. But Siege Battery 4, I certainly am. And anybody that hasn't got alloy armor CL3, if you're going to get up to the bigger targets, then that's the baby you want. So
yeah, and the tokens don't hurt either.
We love tokens. Okay, good. Hunter Games, that one's back. So here we go. Phoenixes and Skyfires again. This then for those individuals that want to sort of like funky up their sort of like hunters that they've already got. Still that thing with those chests. I've never been happy with those. It's a random drop sort of stuff, but you've got fixed amount of, you know, hunter tokens as well in there to be offered. So there's prize pack 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, get as far as you can. Just bear in mind that it gets a bit sexy come the end. You've got to pick a certain amount, or basically have both fleets to get to the end. But there's the mastery. So there's more charge there. There's more chests, you know. And if you don't need these, remember, you know, you can stack up some of the tokens. And when it comes to, you know, this time round of the cycle, there may be a new weapon, like we did with the Tide Seekers, that you might be able to slap onto the hunter. But it might actually be a bit better than it is now. You never know. I'm not a fan of the hunter, but you know.
Or even hold the skirmish ones to the next skirmish raid cycle.
Yeah.
Don't forget to use your fangs to kill the Rudolphs and the later prize packs as well.
Fangs are great. I was doing the same thing, just driving around, smashing them with fangs, then nipping back out, and then going back in. And you can even do it with obviously they do rise, but you can do it with Hellraiths as well. You just got to be a bit more cautious. So there we go, Hunter. Leading on from Hunter, then there we go. You obviously got to get the PBX to get in through the hidden depths, but obviously that's in the Hunter itself. So, but once you get into that, then obviously this gets you into the Fangtooth TLC. So, if you haven't funked up your Fangtooths yet and you're back to the original torpedo, then this is, and you have the blueprint, then this is when we go and get all those nice, lovely tokens. And like I said, you know, skirmisher class tokens. Anybody has got, you know, a funky big submarine that no one seems to play with anymore, that wants to put some nice sexy new torpedoes on it. It's a skirmisher submarine, so it's a generic token, or save the tokens till this time next year, you know, when that
5 million in damage.
The 5 million in damage.
Million.
Yes. Yeah, million points. Yes, exactly. So there are other things to use these tokens for. So if you've got the chance, go and do it, because there's nothing to lose as far as I'm concerned. Happy on that one? So timing's all the same. Like I said, you know, we're getting sort of hints as to where to start to get into these. And here we go then. So the third one of this series, it's almost like a sort of like a docu-soap, this, isn't it? So this one needs the Fangtooths, and here you are for, I'm going to go for this one again because there's more Hydra tokens available and that sort of stuff, you know, and some more charge as well, which is a definite must. I don't really care about levels 1 and 2 too much, but I'm going to break in, and even one more day's token, it's still worth me doing an hour, even if it's just one. So build token's a build token. But they're there. So
yeah, and Ren just bumped his video on the page.
Oh, cool.
For this one. So there is some rules about how to do this one so that you don't end up killing your fleet. So if you're looking for a video, it should be there pretty much at the top of the page. And then Andrew has got links on the TLC pages, the current TLC pages on the website as well.
I tagged it in the bottom of this one I posted up.
Yeah, I kind of like this is coming out again because I know a lot of players stopped building their Hydras to do the dragons, which is a good idea. And I mean, I don't think I have a single Hydra completely built yet because I just stopped and I'm putting everything into the dragons.
See, I'm actually ahead of you for once at the minute. I'm quite chuffed.
Are you the other way around? Are you sort of like in on?
Yeah, I've got my dragons done and my Hydras as well. So I'm quite happy.
Yeah.
Been doing lots of TLCs.
yeah. And do you know what? Why not? If you can do them, even if you don't need the stuff, you don't think you need the stuff, get it in the back pocket. You know, tokens are tokens at the end of the day. They do come good. Like I say, even if it's just a funky up your ghost crawler. Right.
Yeah, that's going to help me finish my Hydras because I have the flagship naked and regular Hydras all missing weapons and armors and everything.
What did you have? 2 and a bit or something, didn't you, Ren, last time? Ships?
Last time I had 2. I mean, one ship was fairly complete, just 1 armor of each, and the others were missing everything. You know, I have no flagship. Now I have a naked flagship.
2 finished, and I have the same naked flagship and 2 naked regular ones. So I'm looking forward to these tokens because I wasn't going to even bother with them, but I may be able to get the Blood Hydra actually finished beforehand.
Yeah.
Cool. So, George, you want to take this bit, Hank?
Yeah, the bug fixes and balance. First off, I'm glad to start seeing these again because there are some down at the. I don't know if we actually added all of them that they had. They had some from the bounty as well that they added, and I'm glad we're seeing what they're doing again. Whereas before they were like, "Oh, we fixed some stuff, yay!" They had fixed players getting stuck in where they couldn't do the R&D. There was a couple of areas in the R&D where you couldn't advance. So that's been taken care of. They had an issue with the NPC bases that had both of the undersea webs active. That's been taken care of. That was, I believe, this one and the next one is from the bounty. They fixed an issue where the NPC bases were already damaged when they were being spawned, and I know they were working on that over the weekend. I was still finding that on the last day, just not nearly as often. Like I think Saturday I was finding bases that were almost dead, and that got better to the point where I think I was only seeing like some of the gates damaged. So that was taken care of, thankfully. They'd fixed an issue where the icebreaker and the mono tokens weren't working for the retrofitted hulls.
Yeah, that's
I didn't
weird,
catch this. Yeah, I didn't see this. I hadn't actually
people couldn't
retrofitted
use
either
them.
one. So
yeah, there was a couple of posts on the page that people just could not use them on a refit.
So once they had refit it once, they couldn't use a token at all?
No, once it was
Correct.
retrofitted, they couldn't use them.
Yeah, once they started past retrofit one, as soon as retrofit whatever one had finished, for some reason your tokens weren't doing the job.
Wow, that's weird. I did not know that one. They fixed an issue where the expedition cards weren't respecting fleet permissions. So you weren't seeing, like, if you clicked on the card, you tried to go in and find your fleet to do it, and it wasn't there. No idea how that happened, but it's
and then
fixed.
you could find I think it was Hefe that posted an image of it where he was going to do the base parts one, and he could take his gluts in there.
Yes, yeah, the Conqueror hulls. That was interesting. And then the Siege missile, the new one, has the pass-through value added and displayed. Although it is interesting, I've seen a couple of hits now, and I'm getting a couple of emails that people that are coming in with these hulls, if you're going into bases with the elite countermeasures, in some bases they're not firing.
They don't seem to be,
yeah, and I had that happen in mine. And one of the weird things that also happened was he came around the edge of the outside part of the island, and then turned back in towards where my elite countermeasures were. My elite countermeasures were just in range to reach the missile boat, but his onslaughts behind it that had mortars weren't even in range of the countermeasure turrets.
Yeah.
But the mortars were coming into range, and my countermeasure turrets were shooting at the mortars, but not the missiles. It was very, very strange. And I saw that live, so it wasn't a replay. And
I know there's a bit of bypass, that sort of stuff, but not 100%.
But that turret is splash based.
Splashed, yeah, so it shouldn't affect it, should it?
Right.
I knew there was a reason Jag's got in my base. Right, I'm going to claim nothing to do with his pink onslaughts at all. Dang you.
Yep.
No, it was a good hit. It's funny. I'm still laughing at his onslaught.
So I'm hoping that they're looking into that. I mean, I'm getting conflicting reports because some people that goes into their base and they're like, dude, they were trying to shoot at the turrets for like 5 minutes, and I was shooting everything down. And then I'm like, I got 3 of these things, different ranges, and I had like different specials, and I wasn't shooting anything down. So I don't know. We'll see. Hopefully they'll look at it.
And then the last one, if everybody's noticed that if they've logged in, be careful, obviously, on Facebook, the game arcade thing, because everything in the text above, it's black. It's obviously a black border, and you can never read it. It just says survey. Okay, so that's what the survey's about if you're using the games arcade. So if you did take part in Bounty, or a reason you maybe didn't, or what the changes are, can you just have a little look on? They'd like some feedback. Are they going in the right direction? And if you could then complete that survey and ask alliance leaders and alliance sort of like lieutenants, ask your guys to do so. The more feedback, be honest. Don't be rude. Because no one reads rude stuff because you just delete it. You should know that by now from me. They're the same. They won't read rubbish. But if you've got some concise, constructive criticism that you think you could improve it still, please offer it. But if you prefer it compared to 6.0, I can't imagine many people do.
Look, I'm gonna tell everybody that enjoyed Bounty, fill out the bloody survey, because the more feedback they get going, hey, y'all hit a home run, the better chances that we're going to see the same.
Even people who didn't like it, say why you didn't like it. I mean, clearly they are in a mood and a spirit to improve the game again, and they're improving in ways that players are mostly liking it. So if some people are being left behind in their aspirations for what the game should be, they should say that constructively. So especially actionable. If you don't like something, take the time to write it down how you think it should be.
Yeah, it's not a rush.
Can I show you something, TSM? Sorry, off topic, if we're done with the main topics.
We are for a moment, yes.
So I'm sharing my screen. I don't know if you can see it.
Yeah, of course. Got it.
Can you see the game?
Yeah, you're up.
So I just wanted to show, like, there was somebody on TFC saying, oh my God, you know, the amount of titanium needed to build the new ship is crazy, and I can only get 5,000 at a time. So just to show that here in the Conquest Yard, you know, to build a naked missile storm cruiser, it requires 160,000 titanium, which I know for a lot of people may be a pain collecting that all at once. Our suggestion is just think strategically. You have another shipyard that doesn't require titanium, and this build takes only 15 hours naked. Spend 15 hours on the regular shipyard, build that without needing any titanium, because then after you have the naked shell built, you can start adding the components, like for instance, okay, like just one of the missiles, it takes a long time to build. Okay, you're going to see the jump time is going to jump from 15 hours to a day and 2 hours. So that's a lot of hours. Like pretty much one missile takes as long as the naked hull. But that's going to be only 8,000 extra titanium. So do the naked hull in the regular shipyard overnight or over a day, whatever, 15 hours.
Yeah, I use one FM token.
Then keep building, keep refitting on the Conquest Yard. Just be smart about the way you do things, right?
Yeah, really good advice, mate.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more, mate.
Yeah, that's all I wanted to say. Carry on.
That's good. It's good. It's good advice, mate. And Conquest Yard, that leads me on quite nicely to what I was just going to go to next. So we have finished 10 minutes early, which is nice. So I was just really wanting to just have a pause for 5 minutes, literally. And guys in live chat there, just do the same sort of thing. Since obviously we did, Rue and I did our sort of Christmas show and our wants and needs and that sort of stuff that we were sort of like wishing for, almost like a New Year's resolution. Come on, let's get this game back on track. Here we are. We're into March. Okay. Just thoughts on how you think it's going. What are the key elements that have changed? Some for the good, some may not be, and that sort of stuff. Just a general sort of vibe. I don't know. Anybody lead? I don't mind who.
Yeah, no, that's funny. I was having that conversation with 2 players last night, and I think, excuse me, I think that we're seeing a shift going for like PvP. Like I had a couple people saying that, the balance is still going 2 weeks here and 2 weeks there and this and that. But one of the things I pointed out was like this time as things are coming out, they're kind of building off of each other so that I'm guessing around June, we're going to see a point where you're going to have the bases are going to be well defended, and you're going to have to actually sit and strategically just take apart the base when you want to go hit it. You can't just click the back of the base anymore, regardless of what you're going to have. And I think it's going to take a little while, they're trying to get the balance back. And I think I'm guessing, June-ish is where, because I'm trying to think back to 2016. That was about the same thing that happened. And it took them till about June, and we finally got a nice, even, balanced PvP area. I think it's going in the right direction. It's definitely in a better direction than 2017.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you. I think we're going in the right direction. We're not quite there yet, but we're getting there, and it's definitely taking a good step in the right direction. And nothing can be as bad as last year. So that's my thoughts on it.
Yeah, last year for me was epic, but not in the right way.
That's a good way of putting it.
Yeah. Anything else, Ben? Points?
I have a couple.
Oh, go on, Robin. Yeah, go.
Sorry, I was just going to say that the thing that I'm still looking forward to seeing how they handle. They've done a lot of positive things, and I'm very happy with it. I mean, the Buckies, TLCs, those types of things, allowing players to catch up, tokens in the TLCs, getting the FM hull out earlier than originally anticipated to help give people time to go ahead and build it. I'm looking forward to seeing the big change that they've announced, and that's with the one fleet for the raid versus having to have the two. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how that's going to be implemented and work from here on. So that's the big exciting bit that I'm waiting on.
Yeah, just a bit of clarity on that then, because I was a little bit confused myself. So I did get a bit of clarity. So remember, obviously, it sort of like comes in the event before. So probably it'll still come, obviously, in the the textual raid. But what you won't get then is in between that period, you won't get the TLC for the second hull, because there is not going to be a second hull. The hull that you're going to get, though, is going to have two options. You can go down the two streams. I can be a bruiser and go and put something on it to make it sustainable to last a target, but I can go and crash around the target and make a real mess, or actually I can change the hull, put a different type of weapon on it, and then I can be a fine driver and I can kite and that sort of stuff, and I can go for limited damage, but I've invested a bit more time in my hull. That is the plan, unless I've got it completely wrong, but that's what GDR said to me. So it's still the same of a twin concept, but ultimately a single target being able to attack it in two ways, as we sort of did in the very early spring part of 2017, before it all went mental. But yeah, so I'm looking forward to that. The other thing, does anybody want to talk about the escalation and the delayed escalation on FM? Because we've got a little bit on that, haven't we? Ben, George? Did you hear anything about that? I know that there was a hint that the flagship obviously will be delayed in coming out.
Oh, yeah. I thought didn't we talk about this a little bit on Saturday?
Rampage posted something saying that the flag, I think on forum somebody screenshotted and shared that the flagship for the Infernal Dragons is not coming out for the next several months. Now, hard to say if several means 2 or 8, right?
Yes, yeah, very
but
much
I think it sets a good expectation that for the next few months at least, and I'm going to say at least 2, there won't be a flagship for the Infernal Dragons. So I hope the 117s are tuned for fleets of 4, because I don't feel like building a 5th one just so as soon as I'm done, they release a flagship.
Yeah, several is 3 and above for me. But so I'm thinking June, July is my goal.
Yeah, the way it sounded, I mean, I think it implies that they may be coming back from the idea of having 3 different fleets a year for the FM, and instead tuning it to go with probably the hull and then the flag if it comes out for the second, the second of the 3. So, I don't know what the third would be. I would presume escalation. I'm not sure, but I really like that idea much better than 3 different hulls every year for the FM. I'm hoping that's what it means. It's almost implicit in the way that he had said how far out it was going to go. But I really hope that's what it is. I would much rather see that than
I think everybody
build 3 hulls.
That that's what it is, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah, and I agree with you, mate. So we were talking about a little bit about hulls and builds and that sort of stuff. So if we're not getting a flagship, then there are a couple of other ships that are really good that we can put in there, particularly if you are a macro user or you just are very good on keys and that sort of stuff. Someone want to lead on that? George, Savage, Kodiak, that sort of type thing.
Yeah, well, I've been testing, and you actually tested the Savage as well. I mean, I had tested the Savage Kodiak. I don't have Dante's Nova Storm to test, but I've found that the Savage has brought my repair time down to about an hour. The catch is, and I should have all of my testing done by Thursday, I believe. So like this weekend, I should have something for the show or blog or something. But what I found was, as I added armor, the armor special didn't. It was weird. I was able to change the MX3 out for RA3, and even when I wasn't running the Savage, I was getting the same damage between the two hulls. And I have some more testing to do this week, and I don't know what that actually implies, but with the Savage, I was saving about 20 to 30 minutes of damage than when I wasn't running it with the fleets. And now and granted, mine are not fully ranked. I don't have them. They don't have all the armors on them yet. They're slowly getting there. But yeah, the testing's showing some interesting things. I'm not entirely sure exactly what it is yet, but hopefully Thursday I'll have everything by Thursday anyway, because we have, let me see, Wednesday, Thursday, yeah. So by Thursday I should have everything set.
If anything you want to, Jörn, anything extra you got? Anything you've noted? If you're still there, Earth?
I don't know.
No, disappeared for a minute.
I know with the...
Sorry, did you ask me or Earth? I'm confused.
In general, anybody else got anything to add about the Infernos, sort of stuff?
I mean, I don't... Did you, Mark, did you get to test yours yet?
Yeah, I did. I was going to finish off with my little bit, but yeah.
Okay,
Red, what have you got, mate?
No, well, I just posted a video, I think, with 2 of them doing 115s, did well. I am confident the build I'm using will perform. I'm just now working on the other 2 because I'm going to have a mix where 2 ships will have sprints on them. The other 2 ships will have a mix of gales and flanks, so I can work the ranges properly. Because I don't want the sprints firing at the incoming missiles. I want the flanks doing that with higher accuracy.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I have 2 setups, and I'm going to have 2 ships on each setup. Right? I'm confident it's going to work well, but still work in progress, still unproven. So I only put that video out there showing the build for the 2 sprint ships. But I shared both pictures for both builds on TFC page before. And I'm following that path, running the Saskatchewan flagship. And that's a joke only Canadians will understand. And that's it.
Yeah. I mean, I was in a test, Robin was in the test as well, and we were looking at different things, and I did run the Dante to see if it was a problem with, obviously, explosive reload problems to try and get the rockets firing faster and that sort of stuff, And then I tried it with Savage Kodiak. I tried different types of, obviously, countermeasures and that sort of stuff, And there's another one that does the same damage protection, not the Savage. There's a Reaver one, isn't there? What's the other one? That's
Unshackled Hellhound or something.
Yeah, that's the really expensive fixed one, isn't it? But as long as it's touching the corner, you're okay. But yeah, so the Unshackled also works for if you recycled your Savage and you still happen to have that Reaver thing. So that would do the same sort of thing for you. So,
have you guys, when you guys have run the 117s now, because the lowest I've gotten it down to is an hour, and the funny thing is I have. Padre actually is running a similar build, but he's using a blade of 3, and he's running the same times as I am with the Savage with completely different armor specials. What do you guys have you guys tested them out in the 117s yet?
No, with 2 ships, I'm not confident I can run the 117.
Me too.
Yeah, I haven't tried it yet. I've tried it with RA3, but I haven't tried it with AV3.
All right, because I mean, I did run the 117 with 2 and 3 before in testing, and it took damage, but I think with just 3, I was doing around 2.5 hours of damage, I think. So they're capable hulls. I just don't know how to mitigate that damage.
It's funny what you're saying. So no matter which way you go in terms of percentage in the defense, you're getting the same outcome. That's odd.
That's the odd thing, yeah. That's why I have to do. I'm going to try and do a bunch.
Which tells me primarily what's mitigating the damage is not the resistance, it's the deflection.
Actually, no, because I've had different armors on the different hulls as well. That's what I thought as well. That's why I'm trying to figure out exactly what's going on.
Sorry, I meant the built-in deflection in the ships.
Oh, the assault and the siege deflection, you mean?
Yes. I mean, if playing the resistances is not making a difference, it has to be the deflection.
Yeah. Okay. Right. So we've had a little look at the first 2 months of 2018. Just in the live chat, it'll take a couple of seconds to catch up. Just a quick thumbs up, thumbs down if you think things are going in the right direction. Just give us a flavor. You can say
Mark, one suggestion. we shouldn't say much because Kixeye has a history. We talked about that before.
Yes, yeah.
Every time we start to get happy, they do some major change that pisses everybody off.
Oh,
so,
okay. Yeah.
If anybody from Kixeye is watching this, don't get carried away. Don't get too full of yourselves. You did a great thing this weekend. You're doing some other great things like with FM, this release and whatnot. Keep them rolling. Don't do stupid.
Don't waste all of the good vibes that you just started to get back.
Yes.
As they say, 1 step forward, 2 steps back. Don't go down that avenue.
So that's the thing. We just had the 2 steps forward, right? The bounty and the charged armor in the FM. So now, if I see a 3rd step forward, then I'll celebrate.
If this was Snakes and Ladders, you've just hit the biggest ladder for 2 years. 3 maybe.
Right? Sorry, I could actually say 3 steps forward because some of these TLCs this week are great.
Oh, Givets. Yeah, they're the Givets.
Yeah.
And I don't think they're hard. As far as I've seen the chatter in comms, they're not super hard. Doable.
Yeah, people are content. Some people are already charging through some of them already. So yeah.
We're in a good place. Just keep walking forward. That's all I'm gonna say.
One word of caution, and I will put it out now. Okay, we did say, we were informed that the FM 115s and that sort of stuff will start to change. That's programmed to happen after the next raid. Okay, then. I don't know if they're going to do it or not, but that is programmed to happen after the next raid. Okay, so let's see what happens. I don't know what's going to happen, but don't think it's the sky's fallen in, because that was told to us some time ago. Let's see. There's a lot of people who can't touch a 117 yet. I've got 1 ship built.
I mean, they had said March, and it kind of, they've always done it right after the raid. So, I'm kind of expecting that. I kind of hope that they push it back just a little bit, because in talking to a lot of players, there are not many players. I think I know like 3 that have their hulls done. They're ready.
Well, even how many even got them in the first place?
Yeah, that's true too. So, I'm not sure what the plan is. Maybe we'll find out this week. I don't know. Maybe we'll find out next week. But traditionally they've done it after the raid, and they said it was going to be this month. So I'm kind of leery. I mean, I've been testing like hell, and I don't know if I'm ready for it to change. So, And
I think the other thing too is communication. Yes, they talked about it months and months and months ago, but if you are going to change it soon, please just take the 5 seconds to post something on the page, or on the forum, so that everybody is aware and they're not taken by surprise.
Yep, absolutely. Or even do it in game with one of those little exclamation point thingies on the left or something. Yeah, that's a good point.
Good. Right. Then I think if we're happy, I think we're done. Good show, guys. Thanks. Tons
of If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands.
It's nice to finish a live show after such a big event with a positive vibe from the whole community, bar the 2.what% was it, George? 2.05%.
What you say the whole community? Are you including the
I don't know. I've lost you there, mate.
Yeah. I thought that was me. I'm glad.
It's good when Snoopy's happy.
And Snoopy,
I was going to say, is Snoopy happy?
Snoopy coined. Okay.
Snoopy actually went and hit bases too.
Wow.
Coined. Okay. That
so
says
it must be a good thing. Angry Snoopy is happy.
Yeah. So look, it's simple. You're 1/6 the way through. Okay, then just slightly over that now. You just got to do it another 5 times. And then 2018 will be your best year ever. Just do the same what you're doing 5 more times. That's it. It's as easy as that. Keep us smiling. We'll keep playing.
And we'll keep paying.
People, that's it right there. People will coin. People are having fun. They will coin. The fun came back. I think that's the thing that we actually didn't even touch on. The fun came back this weekend. Everyone was actually having fun.
Yes, very true.
So the last thing I'm going to close with, just because you get 3 hulls doesn't mean you have to build them all the same. Hint, hint. Okay? The missile is not as good as you might think it is. And on that note...
To be more specific, I've built one as a spotter for my mortar ships, which are sloths. I am thinking about building a second one as a base defender.
Yep.
And the third one, it's going to be an attacker. But I'm still thinking what weapons are going to go on it. I have options.
Not one of mine looks the same as the other one, so that's my advice.
And Venom on chat is actually asking people to build them all the same, please.
It says enough. Right, final closing points. Anything quickly, George?
No, actually, I just want to say I actually had a lot of fun this weekend. I hope they continue this trend, and I hope the whole trend for 2018 stays on track the way it is now, because it's looking promising.
Super. Ren, anything?
No, man, I'm good. And I know people in chat just said they love to like hearing me singing and that I sing really well. So I should start singing more, you know, on
Get
the
on the voice,
shows.
mate. The voice.
Yeah.
You got a version over there. I know you have. Get on it.
I think Canada has doubt.
And it's not here.
Robin, anything to close?
No, just a quick reminder, the raid date is March 15th, I think it is.
Yeah.
So we've got 2 more, this week's FM and next week's FM for tokens.
Yeah, we're good. So we're
If
at
you're
7th
happy
now.
and you know it, clap your hands.
We've got a few more hours of the FM, then it recycles again, and then we're into raid week. So woohoo! And I'm here for like 2 days of it. So yeah, good. Earth.
Anything I've got to say really is just keep going as you are. You're doing really well. Don't cock it up.
Yes, in a good old British term, don't cock it up, because it's very easy to do.
Yeah.
Good, mate. Thanks for coming on tonight. Good and valued input as ever, and it's nice to have a guest on every now and again. So, thanks.
And I didn't call everybody stupid, which is always a bonus.
No, because you
let's not do that.
didn't throw it in somehow. I don't know why you didn't throw it in. Nobody does, but there we go. Stupid is as stupid does. Who said that? Was it Forrest? I don't know. Anyway.
Oh, no.
Tangents. Right. Love you and leave you. Thanks all. It's been a very sparkly evening. Okay. I've enjoyed it. Okay. If we had some glitter, I'd throw it at the screen, but I haven't. Enjoy the rest of the week. Smash out those TLCs, and we'll speak to you all at the weekend on the open mic. Please join us. Subscribe to Ren's videos, okay? Because he really needs plugging, okay? Then, because I don't do a great deal of videos, but because I don't have much time. Whereas Ren loves them. He loves them.
I try to help. That's all I'm doing, you know. Like
if you weren't helping, I wouldn't be plugging. It's all good. Thanks, chat. Thanks, admin. We're out of here. Good night.
Have a good night, everybody.